Matt Chapman, and I'm here with Melissa Kee, who is the Chief HR Officer of Kuok in Singapore. Hi, Melissa.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
We're separated countries. I'm obviously in New Zealand, but Melissa's in Singapore. Singapore is my home. And Melissa and I have known each other for many, many years, actually. I worked out it was actually when you're at Microsoft, and then I've followed you through your journey with Roman Haas, Johnson & Johnson, and then things took a new twist in 2016 when you joined Kuok.
Yes, indeed. It's been very colorful. And thanks to you tracking me.
Thanks. So it's been easy task for me. You've done all the work. So Kuok is a very, very interesting company, and I would love you to share more about it because it's very under the radar, but quite a force.
Yes, indeed. The Kuok Singapore, which is part of the larger Kuok Group, is actually a massive Asian conglomerate managed by the Kuok family. And we have a variety of businesses that we operate in, from large brand companies like Shangri-La, Kerry Logistics, Kerry Properties, to maritime companies that we have operating out of Singapore, to agri-solutions. We have massive operations in Indonesia and Malaysia as well in the palm oil industry. We are also huge in property, retail, and hospitality. And most recently, we have also ventured into data center, hyperscale data center. So you can see the variety of businesses that we're in. And there are many other businesses that we are operating in, but these are some of the bigger brand names that you may hear of.
This is quite a portfolio, and I guess as Chief HR Officer, quite a breadth of different types of industries and companies to stretch across.
Yes, indeed. And it is not easy to manage because we have to cater to various different business needs, and also the population dynamics differ from business to business. For example, in maritime, we also are in shipping, so we carry cargoes. We also provide offshore services, and we also build ships and repair ships. So just within the maritime segment alone, there are already varying degree of services and business models that we have to support, including the seafaring community out there running essential services while we are working from home.
Yeah, the unsung heroes. So Kuok also has fascinating values as well, which, if I'm correct, come from Robert Kuok or descended from Robert Kuok. Is that right?
Yes, and his family. Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about those values?
Yes. Well, in Kuok Singapore, our chairman, Mr. Ian Kuok, has a very passionate focus on values. Why? Because we believe that values shapes the culture, and this is what sustains us in good and bad times, or especially during this time. And talking about values, when I came into Kuok Singapore, we had the chance to reshape what these values means, and I am so passionate about it, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to contribute to that. That was 5 years ago when we redefine it and make it clear and communicate to employees. They are compassion, gratitude, unity, effort, and integrity. And then most recently, because of COVID-19, we decided to relook at what these values mean to us again. And we had the opportunity to refresh it and use our values, reinforce that in our day-to-day actions and thoughts, especially to guide us during this time. And I must say that, this is one of the secret sauce for the group since I came here 5 years ago, because we have so many different type of businesses. There's one common platform that bind us together, and they are our values.
That's really powerful. So tell us more about how those values have stood up during these unusual times. And again, just to emphasize, you're obviously based in Singapore, which has been a fascinating place to observe this from.
Yes, indeed. So let me just touch on the first value. So when we refreshed the value, we decided that we will start off with gratitude. Why gratitude? Because during this time when everything seemed to be filled with restrictions and challenges, with never-ending rules and regulations from the government, especially in Singapore, and for all the good reasons. And most of us were required to work from home. Well, it's easy to say that. We realized that, it became real that not everybody can afford a nice corner in a home to work quietly. And not only that, they have their children having home-based learning, and their husbands or their wives may also be required to work from home. So, and some people may have multi-generational family members at home. So it's not so simple. How then do we help our people in thinking about how do they continue to sustain their energy and focus? So we decided we'll start with gratitude. And with our chairman sharing his personal thoughts about what gratitude means to him. And as an encouragement to our employees and our leaders to be appreciative of every good things in their life, even in tough times, right? The fact that we are healthy, the fact that we still have a job, the fact that, we can eat together as a family. Yes, there may be restrictions in our movement, but there are a lot of things that we can be thankful for in our lives. Yeah. So on top of that, we have also started initiative, what we call Gratitude Week, for employees to show appreciation for one another. And by doing so, we have also highlight the real heroes in our midst, especially in the frontliners. Earlier I mentioned about the type of businesses we're in. In Singapore, we have retail. The malls have to be kept open so that people can come and get their groceries done. So we have to keep the building maintained. We have to manage the security. It's not easy. Earlier I talked about our maritime industry. We have to manage our seafarers, our crewing team, who have to continue sailing while the borders have been closed. What that means is that they cannot get home at the end of their journey. So how do we manage that? We have our shipyards who have to repair ships, and we have foreign workers who have to be taken care of and keep the operation going so that transportations and logistics can continue and we can carry cargo to its destination. We have hospitality, service apartments. We have employees who have to continue to manage the hospitality sector. We have people who come in for SHN, we call it, stay home notice, and our employees are brave enough to be at the front line to continue to service the customers who need it. And essentially, when I looked at all the different sectors that we have, including agri-solutions, we have them in Malaysia, where we produce compound fertilizer for palm oil industry. Now, if we don't provide that, the trees will not grow, and some days it will impact the value chain. So as a result, we realize that, we need to really show our appreciation to the people out there who are making it happen. And interestingly, these are not very senior people. These are our regular employees out there who became our heroes. Yeah. And the spotlight was on them. And I know we talk a lot about healthcare workers and all that, but there are many unsung heroes who kept the essential services going quietly in their own ways. So yeah, that's why we decided gratitude It's a good way to reinforce the message and help everybody to manage their energy and also to manage their mindset to stay positive.
So, Mel, as a chief HR officer, and you've had many years in the profession working in different environments, as we've said, how have you felt the HR role changing through this? And how do you see it morphing into the future?
I think it has changed radically. We talk about the future of HR, and I would say the future is now. Indeed, it is now, and COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated it. I've seen and observed how HR has stepped up to lead during this time of crisis was very visible to our organization. I was together with our corporate task force leading the crisis management for our group, providing directions to employees, providing clarity in terms of how do we manage the organization during this time of uncertainty. And there are new ways of working. In our organization, unlike the tech sector, we are not used to working from home, although I'm used to working from home from my past lives. Yeah. And I think that helped me tremendously in guiding the organization, especially our senior management team, in quickly adapting to the new ways of working from home and providing real time guidance to our senior leaders, our CEOs of various businesses, so they get clarity around what is the direction from the top. And also, how do we continue to engage our employees during this time while everybody is at home? And I thought that's one way where HR has been very visible in our organization in driving that. But at the same time, we have also helped to accelerate what I call the technology acumen within our organization. That because of everybody working from home, we have to think about new ways to engage our employees. I am sure many organizations are doing this, and we are also doing the same. But what I really like to share with you was really what our leaders have taken on as a result of us HR providing the leadership in engaging our population. So what we have done also is that we have stepped up our leadership engagement across all levels. We have leveraged the Microsoft Teams platform to engage our people from across businesses. We get our shareholders to talk about what values means to them, our core values, yeah? And at the same time, we have also engaged our people and populations from across the world through what we call the TGIF sessions. So there's a lot of informal sessions that we do, basically to tell them that it's okay, even if we connect on informal basis, just for fun, to let our head down. It's not always about work. Why? Because we know everybody's working hard. We know people are anxious about their job, concerned about, whether, people notice their contributions while working remotely. So there's a lot of things that HR are doing. And on top of that, we are also amplifying the need and focus for what we call the total well-being for employees. So the focus on not just providing medical coverage, but what's important is how do we manage the emotional and mental health for our population out there. And that's something that is big on our mind. And we have also rolled out what we call meditation sessions, mindfulness sessions for employees. And we're planning to do that for employees and their family as the next step to encourage them to continuously embrace how they manage their energy and their mindset during these tough times.
So it's not surprising, but really everything you talk about is human resources taking a deeply human perspective through these times, and less of a keeping up with business results, but really focusing very much on people first.
Yes, indeed. People first. Otherwise, business doesn't get done. So we believe in putting our people first. And that's why the out of the 5 core values that we have, 2 of them are very focused about people. It's about compassion and gratitude. And it's not just for our people, but for the community. We have also focused our attention on the community, the marginalized segments. It's in Singapore, in Indonesia, in countries where we can add value. We have done that in our own ways. Yes, during this time.
Thanks. Many lessons there from Melissa Kee, Chief HR Officer of Kuok in Singapore. Thanks for your time, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt, for the opportunity to share my story.